My name is Douglas Lee. I work with Lauren Vaughn in the Metabolic Studio, and I am an assistant to the sonic inquiries of the studio at large. Well, I've been working at the New Moon site now since about October, November. We started with an installation in one of the water tanks with some underwater speakers. It was the first thing to go up. And we've been running that experiment now for 5 or 6 months. And that experiment was to introduce vibrations, sound vibrations directly into the water. The sounds we are using are from PPG, which is, as everybody knows, an installation we have in the desert at the beginning of the, not the beginning of the Owens, not the beginning of the LA River, but certainly the beginning of the, what do you call that exactly? The beginning of the LA Aqueduct, I suppose. But okay.
Just below Mount Whitney.
Yeah. So we've been playing now PPG through one of the water tanks now for 5 months in an effort to see if the actual physical vibrations from the sound, because there is a wide frequency range of different wave patterns happening throughout PPG, very, very low tones, very, very high tones, up to inaudible tones that humans can't hear. So that was the first project, and I haven't seen any of the testing yet from the water, but I'm sure it's doing great. And if nothing else, the intention is there, which is always wonderful because, I think intention is probably a large part of the work. I mean, not only are we talking about moving water physically, but we're talking about impregnating the water with positive energy and positive intention, and I think PPG is absolutely one of the finest examples of that kind of positive energy, like those experiments we used to see with the Japanese Emoto. I can't remember his first name. The Japanese photographer who took the pictures of the water, and you would speak to the water and say "I love you" to the water, and it would form these beautiful crystals, and then you'd say "I hate you" to the water, and it would bond in a very ugly and ungeometric way. And I think what we're doing in PPG really aligns right along with that philosophy, because I can't really imagine anything that has more love and positive intent than the silos themselves. I mean, you've been working there for obviously 10 years now. And I mean, just even before we started doing the sound work at PPG, I think it's a place that is just filled with intent and love. Yeah, so I guess the overall picture was we spoke about the moon, and we had this site, and it's huge, it's big. It was empty. It used to be an auto tow yard, and many things before that. And my first impression of the place was the silence, the absolute silence. And so that was something that I wanted to remedy as quickly as possible. So I just decided to go with an electroacoustic installation, meaning I put up some speakers and some wiring in specific strategic locations. And those speakers play back acoustic phenomena. So we're not, it's electronic, but it's really still acoustically based. And we have so far 3 installations running actively. There's speakers that I put along the perimeter of the fence, and those play back PPG 24 hours a day, along with the water tank. So that was a pretty straightforward, just speakers on a fence. I aged them a little bit so that I made sure that they looked like they'd actually been there before. And then so we have PPG covering the entire grounds, which is kind of like that nice, just warm blanket we threw over the site to keep it nice and cozy and protected from the environment. And then I also have started installing speakers that are connected directly to the underground piping network that connects all of the tanks with the circles and the different experiments that are happening there. So I've got 2 speakers right now hitting 2 of the underground systems. and also have sousaphone ears, horns, kind of coming up from those same locations so that the listener can also be engaged with what's going on underground, because if we just pummeled it underground, you would hear it, but it's nice to have it radiated in a lovely acoustic manner. So we got that, and we got that. I think that's the sum of it.
The sound of wetland.
Oh, right, of course. And so I was out in the Owens Valley a couple weeks ago, and you and I had been talking about the sound of bullfrogs and what a lovely sound it was, and it was about midnight, and I was hanging out at the house, and I heard these bullfrogs out in the distance, and said, now's my time. This is the moment. This is the shot. So I went out to the river, threw down my little recorder, and then did about 3 hours of these bullfrogs. Wonderful recording, taken right at the Owens River, and then pretty much came back and was just very inspired by the sound. So immediately set up another sound system specifically in the wetlands, specifically camouflage, so you couldn't actually see where the speakers were located or anything that was going on. And within a couple days, about 3 days after I made the recording, we actually then had the recording playing back throughout the wetlands. And I think that really, again, just follows through with all of the intent that we're trying to produce here, which is the best kind of word I can put on this specific installation that we're doing.